Hey, this is Ryan from Dakota Angler and Outfitter. Today we're going to be tying Rainey's diver head pike fly. I've got a 4/0 Gamakatsu B10S in the vise, and I'm using 100 denier Semperfli nano silk thread. Start your shred at the front of the hook. This is a super simple fly. It couldn't be much easier. So we're going to take some big fly fiber with the curl. So the nice stuff about this curl is when you tie it in, it keeps your fly kind of big and bulky, as opposed to if you just tied it in with a flat piece, it would just lay really flat like that. So make sure you take advantage of the curly part of that. Be maybe a third of the way back, maybe a little less even. And take and kind of spread that around the hook. Loose wrap, and you can tighten her down. Alright, like that. You can trim off your excess. So this big fly fiber is like really long when you first tie it in. What I do, turn the camera a little bit here. You take and pull it tight and then kind of trim it all. I like the fly to be about 6 inches, 7 inches long. Trim it all at different lengths. So it gives your fly kind of a nice taper, and I kind of keep pulling away all the old fibers while I'm doing that. But that way it gives your fly kind of a nice tapered finish to it rather than just cutting it off square. So turn this back here. So now you kind of cover up the excess on that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a couple different colors of Magnum Flashabou. We're going to do black for the first color. I always like to have a contrasting color in these. So black. Stagger the ends of it. There's a little bit of flash built into these, but I like adding quite a bit more. Tie it in 60-40, 60% to the back, 40% to the front. Do a couple loose wraps. And you can kind of spread it around the hook shank so it's pretty even. Do another tighter wrap, and you can take and fold all this back. Oops. A little loose on me there. Just so that way it kind of gives your fly a nice taper. I like my flies to not just look like a rectangle swimming through the water. I mean, if you have something that has kind of a nice taper to it, definitely looks more lifelike in the water, and I think the fish like them more also. Alright, so you can take, if you have any really long fibers, you can take and trim them out. Looks like we're pretty good in that department, I think. So now we're going to take some Grizzly Magnum Barred Flashabou. Take about the same amount as you used in the flash, probably 20 fibers or so, maybe 20 strands. And you're just going to do the exact same thing as you did with the Magnum Flash. Just take and stagger it and then tie it in 60-40. These kind of are the poor man's grizzly saddle hackle. They look just as good, I think, and they're way more durable, so I don't see any disadvantage really to using them. Okay. Gives your fly kind of a nice lifelike appearance too, I think, with the barring on it. So then do a couple loose wraps. Make sure you have them all. Oops. Make sure you have all the fibers trapped down, all the strands, and you can just go around and kind of spread it so it's fairly even. It doesn't need to be exact, but as long as it's pretty evenly spread around the hook, you're in good shape. Alright, and then take and fold the rest of them back. Like that. And you can, again, just make sure you don't have any real straggling fibers, something that's way too long or way too short, you can cut out. Other than that, looks like this one's sitting pretty good. And then that's pretty much it for the fly tying part of this one. Do a couple extra thread wraps, and then you can do a whip finish. off your thread. So now I've got a medium Rainey's diver head. I've already put the eyes on it. These are fish skull living eyes, and I use Loctite gel control to stick the eyes on there. So now you can use that same glue or use like liquid fusion to stick the eye on or stick the head on this fly. But you're pretty much just going to take and do a big goop of super glue all the way around the hook, all the way around that thread head. You can kind of keep it as even as you can, and then stick your diver head on. And it'll take a little bit for it to dry, but the cool part about these, a lot of people think of fishing like top water when they're fishing diver heads. We actually use these on a sinking line quite a bit, and let the sinking line sink almost all the way to the bottom, and then the fly with that buoyant foam head is floating up above the bottom, so you know you're within a couple feet of the bottom, which is typically where the fish are going to be also. So it's pretty solid fly, easy to tie, looks pretty good when you're done, so give them a try. Thanks.